Alrighty.
All right.
We are here. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you for being with us. This is the Living Your Best
Life.
Oh, that's right. Living Your Best Life podcast with Bennie
and Valerie.
And this is the podcast where we... oh my gosh, I just blinked out. Where go for it.
Where one of us brings a topic and the other one doesn't know what it is, and then we chat about it.
That's right.
And share any kind of experiences we might have on that topic, or just different ways to. I feel so out of the loop right now, actually.
It's been a long time since we talked. So for those of you, just so you can see behind the curtain a little bit, but we typically try to record every single week.
Yeah.
And we had a family get together. We haven't even talked about that. Where my wife and I, Patty and I, we started this thing. Oh, I'm just going to get into it. Is that okay?
Okay. So anyway, we have not really recorded anything for like 3 weeks.
No, it's been, again, I figured it out. The last recording we did was 5 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago.
Oh my goodness.
A long time ago.
It was the last week of October.
Oh, wow.
But that's not helpful since they don't know what date it is today. It's the first day of December.
Okay. So we recorded before we went to Big Bear, and Big Bear was the November 3rd.
Right.
So it has been quite a few months. Or weeks.
Weeks? So anyway, the thing is that it's been a while. So we're playing.
It's been 4 weeks. Yeah.
So, yeah. And then you and I haven't talked, which we normally talk at least about something or do something. And so we haven't even talked in the last few weeks. Why don't you want to talk to me anymore?
Because I really hate you.
Oh my God. Well, that's a great start.
No, I feel like I don't even know life. I mean, I think a few of us people had gotten sick, and then when somebody else was better, the other one wasn't feeling well, and then there was Thanksgiving, and then there was, I don't even know.
Did you just say a few of us people? A few of us people. That just sounded really funny, but yes.
Do you know gente is people in Portuguese?
No, I didn't know that.
Gente is people in Spanish.
Yeah, or some people in Spanish say it gente.
Gente.
Not gente. You might as well say genty. Yeah, gente.
Well, okay, anyway.
Gente. But anyway, so the last time we did this was the week before we went to Big Bear. And Big Bear is a really cool thing because this whole thing started, this trip to Big Bear, because my wife's birthday is on the November 3rd. And so I invited the family to surprise her in Big Bear. And that was
many years ago. And of the people that could come, the only people that could come were you and Peter and Dustin, your son, and my kids. And you didn't go?
No, I was too.
Oh, and Trinity, my youngest, couldn't even go because one thing we do is it's an adult party weekend.
Yes, 21 and over.
21 and over. So if that means anything to you, we'll just leave it at that. So anyway, but what we did was we really liked it, and so now it's not a surprise; it's a tradition. And so for the last, I think that was our 4th or 5th. Yeah. And it's grown to quite a few people.
Yeah, because a lot of our kids became 21, and then they've started coming.
And then there was also there were issues with schedules, and now that people are planning it because we just always do it on the first weekend of November. So it's really been been fun. And so to be able to do that was a great time, and it's all weekend long, and there's no agenda.
It's just so fun because, like you said, there's no agenda. And that's what I love about it. It's like you go there and you know that you have meals planned out, but it's like, well, what do you want to do? And people go outside and they start playing whatever, because the weather's still chilly, but you're out there with like a hoodie on or whatever, and you're playing like the disc golf or whatever the heck game you were playing with, that trampoline thing. And then there's a pool table downstairs. And so it's just a lot of fun. Board games.
We play board games. We play, we're playing all kinds of different things, and just hang out and talk at times, and just there's no real agenda, just a lot of laughter, and in the case of like your kids. I don't get to see them all the time, so it's kind of fun to be able to see them. Kylie's the only one that's never. Oh, and Nicole. I guess them too.
Yeah,
haven't made
neither
it.
one have gone. Well, Nicole's always been out of town.
Yeah.
It seems. Right?
Well, no. 2 years ago, she had the baby, and
She had the baby. Oh, Nicole.
Nicole.
I'm thinking of Kylie's always been out of town. Nicole's been here, but you're right. She's had the newborn. And then, yeah.
I was like, I don't understand. I don't think this is news to you. You're grandma.
I know. Okay.
So,
wrong kid.
Anyway, but that's been fun. And then after that, we were all sick. That was the weekend we were all sick. And then the weekend after that, I was away for my residency for my master's degree. And then the weekend after that was Thanksgiving. And so here we are.
So here we are.
And
it's been fun to it's been exciting for me to know that we're going to do this again, because I like it no matter what. And you know what the interesting thing is, if you're listening and you're thinking, okay, I do tune into this, like I would love for you to share it with people that you find they might want to listen to it as well, because the people that talk to me about it are like, I love listening to you guys. You guys have this great dynamic, and also I learned from it. Oh my God, I could relate to so much of this, that, or the other. And it's like, I love that you're telling me this. And I just feel like if you feel like it's beneficial to you, it could be beneficial
it could be beneficial to somebody else. Yeah. And so it would be great if the word was spread. There's no question in my mind that we're going to be big as Joe Rogan. No, that being said, the real thing is that we really do want to add something to your life. I really do hope that it's entertaining enough, but at the same time that you leave thinking about something in your own life and hopefully it benefits you in one way or another. That's our goal. So we didn't say this. Iggy was talking earlier. So Iggy is our sound guy. So hello, Iggy.
Hello.
Nice, Iggy.
Glad to be back.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think that's the most Iggy's ever said. Everybody applaud. And that being said, what we do here is one of us chooses. Did you already say this?
I did.
Oh,
That was today.
okay. She already said this. It's been a long time.
I know.
And so this is your topic day, right?
It is. So I'm bringing the topic today.
Before you go there,
And-
though, I have to tell you about my workout.
Oh my God. Okay.
I'm so glad you're excited about it. In improv, they say it's supposed to be yes and. You're supposed to be like, oh, okay, that's great. Wee. Instead, it's like, oh my God.
Well,
Okay.
if you were like a co-host that was like a friend of mine, I'd be so excited. But since you're my brother, I'm like, yeah. I'm just kidding.
So I was coming down the stairs and I could barely walk because I had to do 100 what do I call them, wall balls, but I don't have a wall ball, so I use a 25-pound bumper and I just kind of throw it up in the air and catch it, and 100 of those, 75 burpee over the bar.
Ew.
Yeah, they're
I wouldn't
stupid.
have done that.
I've
I've done 100 wall
them.
balls, but I broke it up by 25 apiece.
Well, okay, I forgot to tell you this. You can only work 1 minute and then you rest a minute.
Oh.
So you have to work your tail off during the minute to get done, right?
Yeah.
And then, I really hate the burpees. They really, they actually hurt me, my hip a little bit at one point. I had to step up on the last couple.
Oh, yeah.
And so, and then what was the third thing? 50 ground to overhead. I only did 95 pounds because I can't drop my weights,
Oh, right.
So I basically do in touch and go. And then you're supposed to do 135, but that would definitely mean I'd have to drop. And I have these pads, but the problem is it's like a deadlift every time because I drop them on the pads and I have to pick it up and put it on the ground.
Yeah.
And it's like it just takes too much time. And then 25 pull-ups. It was supposed to be muscle-ups, which for one, I don't even know if I could do them anymore. I used to be able to do them. And then I can't do them anyway or I'll just knock my head right off. So because of where I do my pull-ups.
Right.
I'm telling you that because when I came walking down the stairs and when I was walking around, I really didn't realize how bad I was. Have you ever had that where you're not just sore, but like where you're rubbery, where it's like you can't,
like Gumby.
Yeah. And I seriously, especially
Does anybody
my legs.
know who Gumby is anymore?
I do.
Gumby
I'll raise my hand.
and Pokey. Okay,
Yeah.
anyway.
I don't remember any of the songs like you just did.
Oh,
I forgot
gosh.
about Pokey. What was Pokey?
A donkey
Oh,
or a horse. Something like that. Four-legged friend.
four-legged friend.
Yeah.
Okay. What was
But
Gumby?
no, I feel Gumby was a
Human? weird looking
green
human?
Yeah, like a Gumby human.
Like a Gumby human. Oh, that's a good definition. What's a tiger? It's like a tiger. It's like a tiger man.
Oh my God. So I can relate to you in the workout thing. I will say this too, because you're talking about your work. I know, here I go. So now you have to hear about mine.
Okay.
No, I have a goal. I have a goal to do pull-ups, strict pull-ups, because we do have the capacity to do kipping, but my right shoulder still hasn't completely defrosted from frozen shoulder, if you can imagine how long that's been. So when I'm doing a kip, when I'm swinging back, it stops.
Ugh.
and it hurts. Yeah. So I'm just like, oh God, I want to figure out how to do this. So anyway, I've been gradually just doing, what are they called? When you go really slow down.
When you do it, is it called resistance?
No.
Or what is it called?
It's at the tip of my
But I
tongue.
know what you're saying. It's when you go. It's instead of doing the pulling up, you allow
So I get
yourself
myself
to
up. I
gravity
do
to go
more of
down.
like a jumping pull up, and then I lower myself really,
What is
really
it,
slowly.
Iggy? What is it? Iggy's got it.
Is it the? I don't know if it's right. Eccentric.
It could be.
Eccentric.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds good. We'll look it up and.
I have no idea.
Oh, come on, people.
No, I think that's
Help us,
right.
help
Actually,
us.
eccentric, but it's okay though. We all understand.
Anyway, so that's what I'm trying
clearly.
to do to get myself more strength to just do strict ones. So my goal, I never make like a New Year's resolution kind of thing, but 2024, I'm going to be doing strict pull-ups.
Cool.
Yeah.
I strict pull-ups are actually better in the sense of like building the muscle.
Yeah.
You really to build muscles.
Yeah.
Kipping it and butterfly are great for doing 20 or 30 or 40. And,
Yes,
I mean, I used to
for
be able to
sure.
do 25 or so
Yeah.
in butterfly.
And I used to do, I didn't do butterfly ever, but I used to be able to knock out at least 15 kipping ones until the frozen shoulder thing.
Yeah.
And then,
But it's not quite the same. And I have to do more strict ones because of where I'm at and where, in my garage, I can't, if I tried to do originally kipping and I would hit my head on my wall.
Yeah.
So that didn't work.
descending.
Decentric. Well, that's what he said. Decentric.
Decentric.
But
is that a
descending
word?
is fine too.
I don't know. Oh,
Eccentric. Something centric.
you look it up.
In the end, it doesn't matter. But
Yeah, but anyway, so that's what I'm saying. I know what you're saying about being sore because I've been practicing those, and then like you even to just like open my car door and stuff. I'm like, oh my gosh, my arms.
Yeah, it's funny when I have tried to pick up my weightlifting again because when I got sick, I have not been good like for weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Like I mean to the point of just so lethargic. And so even the working out that I did, I told you I swim and I've been swimming 2 to 3 times a week typically. And I got to the point where I could swim for a half hour back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And I couldn't even do that. I was doing
it's like
15 minutes. I was dying. So something was up, and I'm finally getting back into working out normally.
Yeah,
So
good.
yeah, it is good. It feels good.
All right,
Yeah.
let's dive in
Let's dive in.
because I don't want to be too long with this, but I wanted to talk. I think when this episode, I think Iggy said it drops on the 20th of December.
Okay.
So maybe I feel like we should be talking about this pre-December 20th because people are already in a holiday mode and already getting stressed out over stuff and all that stuff. So I wanted to talk about the holidays, the stress, the anxiety, when it's supposed to be like a fun-filled
yeah.
time, right?
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my topic. So have at it.
All right. Well, you know what's interesting is I might have mentioned this in a podcast before, but I use a program, a little shout out to Day One. It's a app that you can get. I don't know if it's on everything or just Macs, but you can put them on all your apps and all your devices. And I've been using it for 15 years, probably.
For what? What
something
is it
like
for?
that. Oh, it's a journal. Sorry,
Oh.
I digress. So it's a journal, so you can. And when I first got it, I was not real committed to doing it. I mean, occasionally. So I don't know. I can't even tell you. Once every few weeks, and I write something down that just was on my mind. But it wasn't a practice. And slowly but surely, I got more and more and more. And now the last 5 years, 7 years, maybe even longer, I haven't missed a day. And I write a journal every single day. This is one thing that's very interesting. when I look over the years, the one time that I always wrote in my journal was in this time of the year during
Always.
always
It never met.
during
Never, uh-huh.
yeah. I mean, not necessarily a particular day, but I have countless. I really couldn't tell you how many times I wrote. Maybe somewhere between middle of November, all the way to the first of the year, and it was not a really great time for me. It really, I always struggled emotionally, and that's why I would journal, because I would get it out. I'd write it down. And when I say I would struggle, what I'm referring to, there was a few things that were going on. I started this journal when I was in Ecuador, and so one thing about that is it's weird when you're not with family during holidays.
Yeah.
So that's a really weird thing. The other thing is that's always bothered me, still bothers me, maybe less than it used to. But I just really, I hate this. It stresses me out that it's a stressful time. It sounds so stupid.
Yeah.
That sounds like, it's like, well, you're creating stress by causing it stress. But it bothers me because I care about people, and I care, here I was a pastor and I'm trying to help people. And I'm not even into the whole, sorry guys, I'm not into the whole Jesus birth thing because it's most people say that he wasn't born on anywhere near the 25th. So it's obviously just a symbolic day,
Yeah.
but it should represent something that's joyful. It should
Spiritual,
represent
like little-
spiritual,
yeah.
a connection. And instead it's about buying presents, and
commercial.
it's about, it's all about
Yeah.
the commercial aspect of it. And then people get nervous about what they're doing, what they're wearing, and is this and and all these things that I just go, and they're things that I generally don't care about, and definitely don't care about during the holidays. And so it really would stress me. And then I live with a wife who is incredibly she's changed quite a bit, but especially when we first got married, and then it's slowly changed, but very traditional in a lot of her.
Well, see, you're bringing up a
holiday
lot of
things.
stuff, because I feel like some of the things that puts stress on you is when you have to live with the traditions that you've set up for yourself. And sometimes you can change those traditions so that you don't feel stressed about, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, we have to do this because it's part of our tradition, and it's stressing whoever out. And it's like, it's okay to change traditions. Okay, you know what? Maybe we have to let that one go. Let's start this one. And it doesn't necessarily have to be an all, end all be all end all kind of thing or whatever. So, I mean, I feel like people stress out about, like, some of the things I wrote, like people stress out about, well, first of all, money, right?
Oh, yeah.
Do you even have enough money to enjoy the holidays? And
So what you just said, that's another huge thing, is that we never had a lot of money. We didn't have a lot of money. Even in Ecuador, I mean, we would have been better off than a lot of Ecuadorians. But for where we live, we didn't even, we just had what we had. And it's hard when you see other kids getting this gift and that gift, and you're trying to think, what am I going to do for my kids? And it was just different. And you can't do even sometimes what you really want to do. Gifts are not my love language. If you know the 5 love language type thing, I do not care about gifts. Because as far as I'm concerned, if I really want it, I just buy it.
Right.
If I really want it and need it, then I just buy it. I love gifts that have meaning and purpose, but I'm not really big on those things. So I'm glad you said that, because that's definitely part of it, is the stress.
yeah, well, and there's like just so much tied into it. Now I'm going to go back. Now, bear with me, because I'm going to go back into food for this part of it, because as you're entering the whole holiday season, you're starting the whole holiday season with October 31st, basically, right?
Yeah.
Because you've got Halloween. Then it doesn't matter how well you're planned out. The next thing you know, you're at Thanksgiving, and then then you've got Christmas, and then you've got Christmas parties, and then you've got work parties, and then you've got New Year's Eve. So the reason I'm bringing up the food part of it is because you're starting this whole holiday season already stressing your body out by what you're eating from Halloween-ish through, because you're putting in pretty bad food if you're one of the people that indulge in all the candies around around Thanksgiving time. And then if you're like, if anybody's workplace is like mine, people bring in the extra candy. So
Yeah.
you have tons of extra candy that people are munching on. Then you've got Thanksgiving and you've got all the food, all the good food, and you've got all the sweets, and you move all the way through that to January 1st. So you're already stressing your body out by food that you probably don't eat on a daily basis anyway. And your body's going to react to that. Your gut's not going to be happy.
Right.
So
Well, and you emotionally aren't happy because most of us don't want to eat that stuff.
well, you're probably like punishing yourself, which is an added stress. And it's like, and
Right.
if you're not punishing yourself, that's even better, to be honest, because punishing yourself for eating it is an added stress. You're already going to be stressed out
Right.
by. Now I'm going to bring in the whole thing with sickness and flu. Now, I personally don't think there's such thing as a flu season. I do not think it's flu season. I do think it's winter season because you're eating all that stuff from October to January 1st. There's not a lot of sunlight anymore. People aren't getting out in the sunlight because the sun goes down quicker. People are so busy, they're not working out as often. People are not getting, obviously, when I'm saying the sunlight, I'm talking about the vitamin D. You're busy, you're not sleeping as good. So I personally feel like the flu season is actually basically holiday winter season. That's where I'm going to throw it in because if
Well, I think the other aspect of flu season, I mean, I don't know, I'm no doctor and I have no idea. What I can tell you is, like even in our house in particular, we leave the windows open almost all year round. And it's only when the summer, we put the air conditioner on, but then the air is getting circulated through an air filter. And then also, but like now we close everything up because it's cold, but we don't necessarily turn on the heater. And anyway, so one person coughs, all that stuff just stays in too. So there's another thing that besides the fact that you're not getting out, everything's enclosed. You're constantly going from one enclosed place to another enclosed place.
absolutely. And that's why, I mean, what I will say, so I'm not going to like, that's not the whole topic of talking about flu season and food and stuff, but I am going to say that if you are one of those people that do get stressed out about this around this time of the
No,
year,
it's
I
gonna
would
make it
pay
worse.
attention to what you're taking in. Enjoy the holidays, like enjoy whatever holiday it is, eat what you want to eat. But if you're really feeling like you're stressed out, like really, really think about the food you're putting into your body during this time. Get yourself into some sunlight, sleep when you're supposed to go to sleep, wake up when you're supposed to go to, like our circadian rhythm is so screwed up right now with people working so many different shifts. Like we are intended to stop eating when it gets dark and go to bed. And then we rise when the sun rises. And that's how our bodies are designed to work. But during this whole time, it's often compromised because we're so busy.
I can't remember if it was Matt Frazier or who it was that I read, and he might have been selling something, but regardless, it was interesting. Matt Frazier, if for those of you that don't know, was a CrossFit guru back in the day, so won the most games and all that stuff. But
Well, no.
he said, "Huh?
No.
Yeah, he did.
He didn't win the most games.
He beat Rich Froning.
Rich Froning has won the most games.
No, he has more than Rich Froning." My sister's looking at me. Okay, Trinity, can you Google Rich Froning? How many did he win? And
How many
Matt
did Matt
Frazier. How many did Matt
Okay,
Frazier win?
But go with your point.
He was talking about recovery, and somebody asked him, "What's the best thing you could do for recovery?" And he said, "Sleep."
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
it's just funny. I hear people every once in a while that say, "Oh, I only need 5 hours of sleep," and I'm just thinking, no, you're wrong. You might be able to exist off of that, but that's it. All right, here we go. We got the report.
Rich won the most.
Thank you.
Oh, how many did he win?
Oh
No, he did.
How many did Rich win?
no. Okay. Rich won 4. Matt won 5.
There you go.
and Tia Claire 2.
Oh yeah, Tia Claire Toomey has the most. She has the most.
Oh, maybe because you know what? Rich did actually. He ended up going to teams.
No, team.
And then
If
he
you
did win
conclude
on
the teams, he's won
yeah,
more.
that's true. I'm
If he's
sorry. You're right.
included-
He
But
did- he went-
individual. I
yeah,
was talking about
okay.
individual. So again, I'm
But no,
right.
no.
We can close this podcast right now. Thank you so much for joining. I'm kidding.
But no, what I was okay. You're right. He did because he went to teams, but they won all the teams. But anyway, but no, you're absolutely right. And sleeping is so key, and people put it on the back burner. And it's honestly, how you recover. It's actually if you're a workout person, it's actually when your muscles grow. Like
Yeah.
there's so much to actual sleep, and I think that especially during the holiday season, people are just like, I didn't even get any sleep because I was up till 3 a.m. wrapping presents, and then I had to get up.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
You know, and it's just crazy. So I personally think this time of year, pay attention to your food, pay attention to your sleep.
And to your health, just to your health in
Yes.
general. I mean,
Yes.
you really have to pay attention. And you know what's interesting, I would say, too, is, and I guess this is a general thing, but maybe it's even more important in the holidays. In order for you to be able to say yes to the things that are really important to you, you have to get used to saying no.
Absolutely. That's
things.
right here. Set boundaries.
There you go. See, we think alike. Yeah, we didn't even talk.
Set boundaries. Like, all around the stress around the holidays, like, we mentioned low on funds. Somebody that you loved might have passed away during this time, so you feel very, very low.
Or not just passed away, but if
Or you don't get
got
to
a
see them,
divorce
or
you
exactly.
had a separation or whatever, and now you're alone and you feeling like, yeah.
You're right. Or somebody's moved away, like you
Or
were in
someone moved
Ecuador.
away, right.
Or this is a big one. A lot of times family get-togethers come together with family members that people don't want to see.
Oh yeah. So then you get together, and then now it's even worse. It's like how we're going to get together with these people that
Exactly.
So it's supposed to be this good time.
Exactly. And that's the whole thing, is like the whole stress of the holiday season becomes more stressful because it's supposed to be a very joyous time.
Yeah.
And so it puts more stress on the person, or, you know, I don't think that there's anybody when we have sorry, your dog is going crazy.
Right,
somewhere.
we don't know what he's eating. What is he eating?
Whatever mom brought.
Oh.
Oh, I'm so glad.
But anyway, so yeah, so there's people that have family members that they don't want to see, and so they're like, oh great, that's person's going to be there. How am I going to get away from, you know, talking to that person? Or they don't get. I was actually just having an Instagram discussion with one of my friends for Thanksgiving, and she was saying she was spending it with family that because it was with her husband's family, and they don't like her. So she goes, so I'm spending it with my stepkids. The family doesn't like
Wow.
me. And she's just like, I'm so stressed out about going, but this is where we have to go this year. And so it's just very sad when you're in that kind of position. And I feel grateful that I'm not, but there are people, I'm sure somebody out there might be listening that has that kind of an issue. So, anyway.
I'm sorry, we're trying to smile. My dog is, I don't know what's happening. He's lost his mind. He's stressed about the holidays. Well, you know, everything you just said is such a big deal. I love the fact that one of the things you touched on in the beginning, I don't know if you're going to go down this rabbit trail, but I think it's a big deal, is traditions, family traditions. And there are so many family traditions that, quite frankly, are great. I mean, they're wonderful traditions. But for me, like Patty and I even talked about this, you know, we really love this new Big Bear tradition that we're doing. We're really enjoying it. And at the same time, it's like what I really love, though, is our get together, that we do the things that we do, blah, blah, blah. There are certain components of it that might change because the group is going to change
Exactly.
and ages change and people change and things change. And we might keep some things that are always going to, but it's like, if you don't change, then you might find yourself in worse situations than in the past. One of my favorite analogies that I used to use all the time was of a woman who she would cut the end of this. I don't remember what it was. She would cut the end of this piece of meat. She would always cut this end off, and then she put it in her pan. And finally, her mom or her daughter said, "Why do you cut that end off?" And she goes, "You know what? I don't know. My mom used to cut it off." She called her mom, said, "Mom, why did you cut the end off?" And she goes, "Oh, I don't know. That's what my mom did." And so she asked her mom, "Why did you cut the end off?" And she goes, "Because it wouldn't fit in the pan."
Oh God.
And so
Everybody was cutting the
so
end off.
everybody's
and
cutting the end
just
off because that's what mom did. And so here's my point, is that there are a lot of traditions that people just do and they totally forget the meaning of it. It just has to do with, I'm just going to do it because it's tradition.
Right.
And you might be creating even a bigger problem or not, not enjoying life just because of the fact that you're trying to maintain something that really isn't that important. What's important is what it represents. So if you're saying, well, to me, it's important because I want to pass down family values and I want to pass down some traditions and I want them to be able to experience X, Y, Z. Well, then it's okay if you change those and they experience new ones or different ones.
Well, and and that's a good point. Like, Nicole, every year for years, we did Christmas Eve with Peter's side, and we do Christmas with you guys. So our whole family would go Christmas Eve, right? Well, now that Nicole has kids, she's not joining Christmas Eve with the whole Grogan clan because she's wanting to start her own family traditions. And for half a minute, and I mean it when I say half a minute because I didn't give it much more thought, I was sad. Like, oh my God, Dustin's going to be there. Kylie's going to be there. Nicole's not going to be there. And it made me sad. But then I just said, you know what? I love that she's so invested in her family that they do the cookies at night. They put out cookies for Santa.
Yeah.
They do. And it's like, you know what? I love that she's doing that. You know, I get to see her the next day. It's fine.
It's
you know,
a very cool
and I
thing.
just had to let it go. And
This
and
brings up another
and it
point.
could happen with Dustin. You know, you never know. He
Right.
may end up just saying, well, I'm going to start doing this either with, you know, Bea's side of the family now, or maybe when they have their own family that they're going to want to be off by themselves. And I'm just going to have to be okay with that. It's life.
Yeah,
And-
because that is interesting because Nicole, you know, what does she do and how is she going to connect with Richard's family and all that? And then the other thing is that we were talking about that whole idea of families. This brings up a very important point. You should always marry someone from another state.
then you never have to worry about it.
I'm totally kidding, but it has been helpful for
Yeah,
our
no,
family
I-
because the
yeah.
truth is that we never have that because
Yeah.
we have never lived in the same state. So Patty's from Missouri, I'm from here, and there was a time we lived in Missouri, so we did things in Missouri, and then occasionally we'd fly here for a certain holiday, and we spent all the holiday with you because
Right.
that's why we flew here,
Right.
and vice versa. And so it's interesting because that is one thing that we've never had to tackle, and,
Yeah.
and I can imagine that it's
Yeah.
not an easy thing.
I think
there's a
they
lot
do.
of
I think for-
listeners that have to deal with this
all the
time.
And I know that, you know, my sister-in-law Kelly, she gets her sons, I believe, split it every other year. Like,
Oh, yeah.
so she gets them one year and then the other year they go with so-and-so or something like that. Like they rotate. And so, you know, you just get used to doing it that way. And so, but see, that is stressful for some people because some people don't want to let that go. And I'm very, very thankful that I had that mentality to just go, I'm loving that she wants to do this with her girls and have their own little thing. And I just let it go because I didn't want to be stressed about it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I was reading, you know, going on with the whole topic of this, that 66% more people, there's more stressed out people. 66. Oh my God, I can't even say this. 66%.
Some people during the holidays can't read.
66%
It's a big deal.
more people feel stressed and have anxiety during this time of year versus any other, like the rest of the
The
year.
rest of the year,
So
okay.
66% more is a lot. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so, like the
That's
one thing,
66% is 6 out of 10.
okay. Should I said it that way versus?
No, I just wanted to do something because it was really fun to watch you struggle with that. 66% of people.
I know. I was like,
66.
I didn't want to look down at my notes. I'm like, okay, let me look and see. But no, but I think it's very important to acknowledge it too, because I think some people bury it, and I think some people don't want to feel stressed, so they ignore it. And I think it's very acceptable to feel stressful or
Oh my
anxiety
gosh.
and just say, I am very stressed out right now. I have anxiety, and what can I do to help not feel this way? And I have some ideas.
Well, I think what's interesting is what you just said is that it is their reality. It's their reality. And because it's their reality, they're thinking, well, this is just the way is it. Can it be any other way? Which is interesting because of relationships and dynamics. And, you know, that's another question. But when you get used to a certain reality, then it's like, okay, maybe this is the way it's supposed to be.
Right.
And it's clearly not supposed to be.
Right.
That way. That's not living your best life.
Right, exactly. You know, do you want to feel like this, uptight, and you know, and if you're not sleeping, that means you are uptight and, you know, stressing out about it stuff. But I feel like we said this already. I feel like people need to set boundaries. I think there's too many yeses and not enough no, I can't do that. And I started doing that many years ago with a tradition that I had with Kylie, and when she lived with us, and we would go to different various malls during the Christmas time all the time. And I had to leave Tamale Day one day early because she and I were going to go off and do our shopping thing. And it was like I had to break the news to the tamale people that I'm only going to be here for 2 hours and then I'm leaving with Kai. And I know some people got upset about that, but at the same time, I was like, I can't just say yes to please you, because now, like Nicole planning her own traditions with her kids, this is something that I want to do with my daughter, and we don't have any other weekend to do this. And so we're going to do it now. And so I had to say basically no to the timing of that whole tamale day, if you will.
Yeah.
And so I think it's important for people to start setting the boundaries and not, yes, I can do that. Yes, I can bring that. Yes, I can do that. No, you know what? I can't do that. I'm not going to be able to bring that.
Yeah, well, and that's another thing about gifts, because that's a huge thing that, there was a time when, there's times that people say, oh, do you want to do the, what is it called, name draw or something like that? And, I got to a point where it was like, no, because for one, 99% of the time I would receive a gift that it's like, I mean, it's thoughtful because they did it, but it's not like necessarily a life-changing gift. And it really comes down to, if you would have given me a handwritten card where you talked about me, I would have appreciated it probably at least as much, if not more, than the gift you gave me.
Right.
And then likewise, sometimes you give a gift to somebody, especially if it's way extended family and so on. It's like, oh, I don't know what to get them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So what ends up happening is someone else ends up buying it, or I give cash and and then they do it, and it's like, well, where's the value in that?
Right.
And it's like, I would just rather not do it.
Yeah.
Because of the
Well,
stress.
and it's funny you said that, because we started doing that with our family, and I opted out of it a couple years ago. I'm like, I'm not doing this, because for me, I'd rather pick a name, because then I know I'm shopping for a particular person. But it became, oh, it's just a white elephant gift. We all bring something. And I go, no, I'm not doing that. I'm just not going to do it. Well, then next thing I know, we're getting a group text, and my mom's like, well, I will buy your gift that you're going to put in for you, because it's fun if everybody can, I'm like, oh, okay, I'll go buy it. But I mean, it's like, I just don't, I'm not a gift person either. I don't, I want to socialize. I don't care about it. I'd rather pick a name so I can give the person that I'm picking the name for a thoughtful gift versus,
Yeah,
I
made a tradition, I don't know how many years ago, but nowadays I've been writing cards to people, just handwritten cards. And to be honest with you, it's work, but I really like doing it now, because I think it has meaning for people. I've given you cards.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I like doing that, but anyway, go ahead. You have more
Well,
things.
anyway, there's just a couple more things I was going to say. One of the things that I think that we really should do is set time for yourself and take a break. So if there's a time that you're running around like a chicken with your head cut off, you really need to say to yourself, okay, I need to stop. I need to go for a walk. I need to listen to a podcast that I love listening to. I need to sit down and watch a Friends episode. I need to, whatever it is that you can refuel and just like start feeling like yourself again. I think that you need to set that in your calendar like you do any other thing that you have to get done. It's very important. If you have little kids, I understand that that's really hard to do. You might have to find a sitter. You might just say, hey kids, we're going for a walk. We're going to go to the park for a minute. I don't know. That might be stressful in and of itself, but I'm just saying, like, really, really try to pencil in time for yourself when you're feeling overwhelmed and a little anxious.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I definitely, you mentioned this earlier, and I agree now. One of the things that often goes out the window is working out, especially if you were a night worker outer and it's dark and you're like, I don't want to go out and all that stuff. And I'm not saying, fight the night, but what I would say is try and discover when is a good time, or what can you do even at home, whether it be a YouTube yoga thing or something where, I mean, honest to goodness, if you do 15 minutes, it's like if you do 15 minutes of something, especially if you're a normal, if you work out all the time and you're not, or you're trying to be consistent. For those of you that are also saying, well, I'm just going to cheat through the holidays, it's just, there's no such thing as cheating. You really just have to be consistent. You have to be consistent. Doesn't mean that you have to be as an hour-long workout. Yeah, it could be just a walk around the block. It could be exactly.
And I like the idea of you saying something at home, like even yoga. You just don't want to go out in the dark. It's too cold. Whatever. I don't stretch. I'm not a good stretcher. I'm so bad about that. I'm trying to get better. But I'll tell you what. If when I do stretch, I feel so much better. So
good.
Even if you're just stretching for 15 minutes, giving your body a little bit of movement, a little bit of, pressure, if you will. And I agree with you. I don't like the idea of cheating during the holidays, because I feel like cheating is such a negative thing. It's like, I think I mentioned this in the very early podcast that, you cheat on a spouse, you cheat on a test, it's a very negative thing.
Yeah.
So if you're going to cheat, so to speak, during the holidays, be okay with whatever you think you're actually, quote unquote, cheating with, and don't look at it like cheating. Just say, I'm I resolve to the fact that I'm going to eat this pie and be okay with it and move on.
Move
you know?
on. Yeah. It's just part of your journey that particular day.
Right.
I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No, you're good. You're writing
Keep
a
going.
lot of the stuff I'm talking about. I said move your body. And okay, and one more thing I would like to say. Alcohol is drink. We drink alcohol a lot more during, well, some people do. Indulge in alcohol
Because you
a lot
party.
more. Because you're at
partying.
parties, a lot of parties, right? Alcohol also puts stress on your body. So if you're going to indulge in the alcohol, I suggest drinking a beverage and then drinking a bottle of water, drinking a big, huge bottle of water, and then maybe drinking another beverage if you want. Like, make sure you're getting a lot of hydration in there because alcohol does dehydrate you, but it also does add stress. So if you're already stressed out and you're thinking, oh, I need a drink because I'm so stressed out, just remember what alcohol does to your body.
Yeah.
It changes it in a way that you think, oh, I'm not stressed out anymore, but you're really, alcohol in and of itself stresses the body out. So
it's very interesting that you're bringing this up because I for I don't know months, years have drank a little bit of whiskey pretty much every night. So I usually smoke a cigar when I walk around the block, and then I drink a little bit of whiskey. And one thing that I noticed that happened now, first of all, it's like I'm not. People might say, well, you're an alcoholic or whatever. No, because it's not a problem for me not to. But it's one of those things where I just did it.
Yeah.
It's like, this is what I do.
Right.
Patty and I are going to watch our little show now. Here,
Yeah.
put a little whiskey in there and I'm good. And it's interesting because when I started to realize, wait a minute, why do I always do this? I don't have to do this. And so I switched to water and I started doing stuff. One of the key things that I noticed is I stopped eating after. You remember how I talked about all my eating?
you would start, yes. Well, and that's the part of the alcohol real quick. It's going to lower your inhibitions and it's going to lower so you do.
Your ability to make a decision,
Exactly.
a rational decision. And so all of a sudden I started to not snack as much after dinner. The second thing that was happening was I actually felt better about myself because then I said, oh, I can stop. I mean, because I know that sounds stupid because I never thought of myself as an alcoholic.
Right.
I wasn't getting blitz drunk every single night ever.
Right.
And it was more like, it was just something
like the people that have a glass of wine.
yeah, they have a glass of wine. I had some
I
whiskey.
mean,
And so it really wasn't that big of a deal. But for me, when I got rid of it, and I still do it occasionally, but it's like I don't have to have it. It
Right.
doesn't have to dominate.
Right.
Thanksgiving this year, I don't remember. I'm sure I had something to drink, but I don't remember drinking a lot. But it was like. Right? She's looking at me. Okay. And I didn't drink
I
a
didn't
lot.
even know she was in here. I thought she was upstairs.
So, but anyway, the point is that I really do agree with you that it's so easy to go, and I'm not saying to never have a good time. We already said we have a 21-year-old weekend, so we've had good times. But I'm gonna say we want to be. There's a point where, especially during this time, if you're going to a party every single weekend,
Right.
not only is it just incredibly fattening because alcohol is crazy fattening, but and then it also affects your whole discipline, and then the
Yes.
next day you're not the same. The next day
Right.
you feel different.
Then you get the hangover food, and then you get.
yeah, and it messes with you, and
It's
so
just and it's again, it's like to each their own. If you feel like you're good with drinking whatever you want to drink, I'm just saying that I know because I've looked at these studies, particularly this time of the year, and we already know what alcohol can do or how it makes you feel. Just be mindful.
Mindful. There it is.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think that we touched on a lot of stuff. Oh, I said okay. I put sleep exclamation point. Make sure you're sleeping, and then ask for help if you need help.
Oh,
Like,
that's
it's just,
so big.
not many people do. I can do it all. Like especially if you're the mom that needs to buy all the gifts for the kids and then wrap all the presents and then do this and then make sure it's like you gotta reach out and ask for help.
I just got a coaching client for this very reason. People that were dealing with, holidays and stuff. So it's like, having, dealing with issues during this time.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to look for help. Don't stay alone.
And you
Yeah.
got to relinquish some of the I know that Peter has said for me before, I'll help you wrap presents and stuff. Let me help you wrap presents. And I'm like, no, because I want it to be wrapped a certain way, right? But at this point,
that's
I'm
a
just
good
like,
thing.
you know what? They just
Rip
it
them
off.
open anyway.
Yes, please help.
Yeah. Well, and we were touching on that earlier, and Patty has definitely changed her mindset. And I think she's also recognized that I think it discourages her that I don't get joy out of decorating. You know, I think it's like for her, it's like a really joyful thing. And because it isn't for me, so the wad is done. But she recognizes now that, you know what, it's almost better if he doesn't help. I can, in other words, you can change again the system and your expectations, and then you can make it something that's joyful for you, but don't put your desires on other people, because that might not be very helpful. Well, that buzzer probably means we should stop.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know this is super close to Christmas, so you're probably already been through all of this, but it's just
so you know
to
what?
keep in
Save
mind.
it till next year.
Yeah.
Listen to it in October of 24.
Yeah.
But thank you. No, this is great though, and I'm really glad we're doing this again.
I know.
We're
It's
really
good to
glad
be
that
back.
you guys are with us. And if you would like to contact us, I am at Benny Gonzalez and Instagram, and you are at
A daily dose of cocoa.
right. And so we would love for you to share this. We would love for you to subscribe to it, because those are the things that are helpful. And we're on Spotify and YouTube. So living your best life.
Yes.
So thank you,
you
Valerie.
for joining us, you guys. I don't know if some people, I know some people said that they listen when they walk. Some people listen when they're driving. So wherever you are, I appreciate you guys being here.
Yeah, very, very happy that you're here. Let us know that you're listening, and let us know what you think, and let us know if we can do a particular topic that we haven't covered.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, we'll see you next time.
All right. Bye.
Ciao. Ciao.